Hey boys and girls, it's your man, MRTROOPER747, and this is Road to Glory, Episode 2, and we play Portland at Portland. It's a tough game, a tough ask for this Milwaukee group, but I think we can come away with the W. Now, I really don't want to talk about this game, because this game was pretty boring, except for the last minute and a half, and I won't talk, I'll commentate for that last minute and a half. But I want to talk about NBA in real life, and at the moment, the free agency trade is going on. And the big trade everyone's been waiting for, Dwight Howard. Where does he go? He ran out of his contract. Does he stay at the Lakers or does he go to the Lakers? And in case you haven't known, you've been leaning under a rock for the past week. He went to Houston Rockets, and my oh my, that's really surprising. I didn't think he'd go to Houston Rockets. I thought he would go to someone else. I can't really remember who, because I had in my head who he'd go to, who I thought he'd go to, but yeah, well, I forgot now. But the LA Lakers offered Dwight Howard a $50 million, 4 or 5 year deal at the Lakers, and he turned it down for a 4-year deal or 5-year deal at the Houston Rockets worth an estimated $30 million. Now the Houston Rockets offered $20 million less, and he still accepted that offer. Now that tells you two things. One, Dwight Howard does not care about the Lakers. He does not want to beat the Lakers. He doesn't want the pressure that he had at the Lakers, that he had for the whole year, and I really felt sorry for him. And number two, he wants a championship ring very badly. Now, they've got players such as Jeremy Lin, James Harden, you got the ASIC bloke, that's actually pretty good, and you've got, what's his name? He's good as, Parsons, he's on my team. I got him from Houston Rockets, so I really thought he was good. Number 25, he's playing in his team. And there's got Carlos Delfino. He used to play for the Bucks. He got traded to them. He was actually a pretty good player back in his heyday. He's all right now, but he's not as good as he was. And they're rebuilding. They look really good. Like honestly, I can't wait for the new season to start, because it's going to be such interesting to watch the other big teams come up against Houston. How Dwight Howard will actually go at the Rockets. And I heard they're trying to get Josh Smith at this point in time. I don't think that's going to happen. But if it does happen, then I'm backing them to win the championship, because they've got a great team. Lakers, I'm not quite sure. They've got Kobe Bryant, and that's pretty much it. Steve Nash is probably going to retire next season. Metta World Peace is not good anymore. If he was like 29, I'd say he's good. Pau Gasol, he needs to go. I'm sorry. He's a very good player, but he's one of my favourite players. He's just not good anymore. I just don't know if he deserves to be there. But apart from that, the Lakers, they don't look very good. They've got a couple of youngsters going through, but other than that, nothing. So now that Dwight Howard's left, they've got a lot of salary cap room left. So they should be able to get some new mature age recruits coming in. But let's go back to Howard and the Rockets. He wants a championship ring, and I think it's a good move that he went to the Rockets. I don't know any other team that he could go to that would give him that opportunity. If he went back to Orlando, that would have been pretty funny, but he didn't go back to Orlando. They were thinking that, but it didn't happen, obviously. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. So he goes to the Rockets, and now, they won 45 games last season, and they finished, 4th or 5th in the East and Western Conference. I can't remember which conference they're in. Put that in the comments below if you want. But the thing is, they had no one. And now they have a couple of good players that they can use. And it was interesting watching the playoffs last season when Oklahoma City, they had Westbrook and Durant. They were firing and they were going great. And then Westbrook went down and Oklahoma City just went like exploded into flames, because Durant had like 40 minutes a game and they just could not win. Durant can't do it all by himself. He needs what's the word? He needs another player to help him out, for God's sakes. And he couldn't do it by himself, and I'm sorry, but they just weren't good. And the same thing with Rockets. They had the talent, they just couldn't use it. I reckon they need that extra play, and Dwight Howard fills that role very good. So it's going to be a really good season, I reckon. It's going to be one of those interesting seasons. It's going to be one of those jam-packed seasons. And also looking at Milwaukee's squad, they've got about 6 5 or 6 genuine good players. Jennings and Ellis are 2 top players that are on a free agent trade next season. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. But hopefully they stay. Now, back on Dwight Howard. His price tag is $88 million, and it was reportedly saying that Dwight Howard was at the least not even interested in rebuilding the Rockets, and that didn't stop McHale from trying to draft him, and he's been constantly working. Apparently, I've read this on NBA.com, and just right now, I just turned to it and came back to this. He was working for 6 years, trading picks and rookies and all that stuff, and now he's got 2 Western Conference All-Star players in James Harden and Dwight Howard. Now, I'd love that coach to be at Milwaukee. We could have had a championship ring by now. Instead, we've got Scott Skiles, and then he got fired for like 7 losses in a row. That could have put us up to like 6, and then we had that feeling Jim Boylan. He actually did pretty good, Jim Boylan, in the amount of time he had. But now we've got a new coach. I can't remember. The new coach is from, who's he? Was it from Atlanta or Cleveland? I don't know. I think it was from Cleveland. I can't remember his name. But he looks like a really good coach. He looks like a good speaker. He looks like a good role model to all the youngsters. And I think he's going to be good. And I think with all the new coaches coming in, I think the most impressive one, beside the Bucks one, would have to be the Boston Celtics, the new guy that came through. I can't remember his name. I saw him last night on television, and he looks like a really good speaker, I thought. Like, interview, when I see a person getting interviewed, I always try to answer the questions in my way. When I answered it, he had a completely different response to how I would answer it. He answered it in like 2 ways, and it was probably the best answer I've ever heard. I would have just gone like, yep, whatever. But he like went on like a full like speech and everything. It was actually pretty good. So I think the Boston Celtics, they've hit a real jackpot with that. Also, I can't believe the Nuggets got rid of their coach. They had like 50 wins, and they still fire him. I don't understand. What's with this basketball? They just fire their coaches if they don't do well. The Nuggets weren't going to make it to the finals. They had a really soft team. They had a couple injuries going through. They weren't going to make it through. So I don't understand why you'd fire him with the limited squad he had. He couldn't do anything about it. He made 50 wins for the year, and he's still firing. I don't get it. In other sports, okay, we'll give you a second chance. But in basketball, you just, bam, you're out. Don't get a second chance. If you're knocked out, you're out. And that's what I hate about basketball sometimes. I don't really agree with it. So, as you can see, Portland are getting on top right now, but I just keep missing all these shots. And then Ilyasova comes up with a great shot there off the backboard, and Ellis on the ball gives it to Parsons, and we use a block there, and friendly roll. They're getting 2K'd. See, I did with the EA'd, 2K'd. 2K sounds way better than EA'd. You just got 2K'd. And as you can see, these last couple of bits, it's just going back and forth, and Aldridge gets the fluke shot there, flicks in and everything. I don't understand that. But then Ellis in the pocket, he was on fire. Look at that. He gets yellow and a bit of red there and still goes in. Then Hickson throws the ball in, and I can't remember who that was. I think it gets blocked, and Hickson in there. Sorry, my commentating's really bad. I don't really commentate for basketball. I commentate for FIFA. FIFA's easier to commentate for, and these just take forever. And we're 4 points in front, I think. I can't read it or whatever. And I decided to chuck it long, and I didn't mean to do it. I didn't want to do it. And they come back here, and this is pretty good. It was a pretty good dunk here. Get out of town. It was a pretty good dunk. I fouled him and everything. And to make things worse, he made the shot as well. But then I hold the ball. Just hold the ball. Just don't get rid of it. Just keep the ball. And they called timeout. Oh, thanks. Oh, no, wait, no, it wasn't. It wasn't timeout. It was defensive 3 seconds. Thank you, Portland. Thank you very much. I can't remember. I filmed this a long time ago. I'm sorry, alright? I'm sorry. So now we got James on the ball with 20 seconds on the clock. He's trying to get past his defender. Gives it to Blatch. He shoots the open 3. Misses. And now they call a timeout. Portland call a timeout. I'm gonna let this run. I'm gonna turn the volume up. Just give me a sec. and now I've got the volume back up, and they switch it to Lillard, and I accidentally pressed the foul button on Jennings. I'm sorry, Jennings, I didn't mean to make you do that, but I made him do that, and he makes the first shot. Shouldn't have done that. Rookie of the year. What was I thinking? I should have given it to someone else. Should have given it to that Hickey guy, or whatever it was. Hickett. I don't even know what his name is, but with 12.5 seconds left, Milwaukee are tied. Milwaukee and Portland are tied. 56 all. Not a very high scoring match, but for 5-minute quarters, anything's possible. So Jennings on the ball, and I'm looking to get that winning 3-pointer, and we give it back to Jennings. And I looked, and I'm gonna fade it, but then Lillard, what a dog, what a cat, what an animal, fouls me, personal foul. So I have to go to the line and sink these 2 shots, and I sink one, I sink the first. Can he sink the second? Please. Oh, I thought that was out. I actually thought that was out. But with no timeouts left, Portland have to rush up the court, and Lillard takes a half-court shot. I still have an American accent, and I miss it. And ladies and gents, we've come in with the victory. That's 2 wins and 1 loss. The 2 wins being New Orleans and the Portland Trail Blazers. As always, please like, subscribe, and peace.